And welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on our continued journey to 500,000 subscribers. Let's get there. Hit subscribe, watch, comment, and share because there's so much stupidity out there. We need to make it stop. Now, nearly a year into Trump's second term, a year, we're almost there, at a year, many people who supported him are starting to feel the fallout. Folks like farmers, especially soybean growers, they're taking it on the chin thanks to Trump's trade war, for example, with China, with Canada, and beyond. And apparently, this is great, even Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent isn't immune. Play the clip.
I did mean the second term. I know they have met before. The president has also said he does want our farmers to be taken care of. You did mention that China has been boycotting American soybeans and American farmers have really suffered. Do you see a real light at the end of the tunnel there? They may allow soybeans again?
Well, Martha, in case you don't know it, I'm actually a soybean farmer, so I have felt this pain too. And there are a couple of things happening here. One, the Chinese have substantially dropped their purchases to almost zero, so they unfortunately have been using American farmers who are amongst President Trump's biggest supporters. I think he had more than 90% support. And then this was one of the biggest crops in 20 or 30 years, so it was a perfect storm. But I think we have addressed the farmers' concerns, and I'm not going to get ahead of the president, but I believe when the announcement of the deal with China is made public, that our soybean farmers will feel very good about what's going on, both for this season and the coming seasons for several.
Okay, let me be very clear. Scott Bessent, our Treasury Secretary, is not and has never been a soy farmer. According to his public financial disclosure, which was filed just in January, he's not a farmer. This asshole owns corn and soybean farmland in North Dakota that's worth between $5 million and $25 million. That farmland that he owns, not works, owns, it does generate between $100,000 and $1 million in rental income for Bessent. He leases it out to farmers, yes, via a revenue sharing agreement with those farmers who are actually producing the crops and doing the work. On my Mea Culpa podcast, my guest, Loren Piretra, and we break down why Trump is not looking out for the voters who actually risk their livelihoods for him. Instead, he's just looking out for himself. Play the clip. And let's not forget that a lot of people standing up against it because now they're finally feeling it themselves in their pockets. Remember, like all the farmers that used to paint the top of their barns, right? Trump 2024 or Trump 2020. I mean, they literally draped the sides of barns with, MAGA flags and so on. Well, right now, they're sucking shit through a straw because they can't sell their product. Why? Well, because of Trump's 100% tariffs with China, and now they're stuck. They don't want handouts. They're proud, decent people who want to work for a living to sell the goods that they produce with their own hands. It's not that you push a button, boom, next thing out pops a fucking labubu. You're talking about harvesting, and then you have to prepare the land for the next crop with your fertilizers and your seed, and you got to make sure that the soil is rich with fertilizer and it's watered, and you got to hope that there's not heat or flooding. You don't have to hope that there's no flies that kill the crop, and they finally get it together. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of bushels of soy and grain and whatever it might be. And now all of a sudden you have, fuck you, we're putting 100% tariff on China. China's going to pay 100%.
He's already backpedaled that one.
I don't know. As of
like a little bit ago, but who knows?
But then he put it back forward, and he even said in the Oval Office that we're in a trade war with China, despite the fact that Bessent said the exact opposite.
I think a lot of people are learning the hard way what a tariff is. And there was a lot of people Googling tariffs for the first time after they realized that the American people, are the ones who are going to pay the price on Trump's little war with people he doesn't like. And what we saw with soybean gate, what was that, 2 weeks ago with the tax, where we gave that money to Argentina, and now all the American farm workers who have had farmland and their families for generations are now going to lose all of that work. And we're going to also see the monopolization and corporatizing of farm working, and all of this produce and whatnot is going to be coming from, it's going to be going to corporate contracts. So entire industries are going to be wiped out.
Yeah.
I thought about our agriculture a lot around when ICE really kind of turned the volume up in January in California, where it was just like people on the right and the MAGA people were like, yeah, Trump. And it's like, do you not realize that California supplies the majority of agriculture to the entire, we feed these are the people, the workers that feed the entire United States, not to minimize their impact or their significance of their lives down to their work. But I said at that time, I was like, I hope these people eat cheese doodles for the rest of their fucking life, because you don't deserve this food from these people who are breaking their backs to get it to you, to supply food to the nation. And you're like, white nationalism, let's go. So the tariffs are nuts. We're going to continue to see the economic impacts of that, the cultural impacts of that. And it's once you look into it, it's just complete nonsensical. It's just Trump mad about shit and trying to hold power over people who, especially the Gen Pop, might not be smart enough to know what's actually going on.
Well, let me just start by saying that I happen to like cheese doodles, and I used to tell my mom that it's high in vitamin C because of its orange color.
You say I'm not joking.
It's got to be true. If we say here Mea Culpa, it's got to be true. Cheese doodles, and they are high in vitamin C. So, look, we're now in the process of just beginning, say, week 4 of our government shutdown. Federal workers, unpaid, but billions of dollars, billions, are being poured into stupid things like this parade. You know, I heard there's so many different numbers that are being tossed around for how much this is going to cost. 20 million, 30 million. I don't even know what the numbers are. But then there's so much money being thrown into, like ICE as an example, right? They're being poured into things that do not help America. In fact, it takes us to the other side. What do you think the end game is here? Political hostage taking or chaos strategy?
I mean, we know that it's really just about Trump trying to appease his billionaire donors and enrich his life and at the expense of everyone else. But really, like, with the government shutdown, what we're seeing is like they tried to spin it as, oh, the Democrats want the government shut down, but they're losing that narrative because people are starting to wisen up and realize, okay, actually our healthcare is on the line. There's very real consequences to this. People are not getting paid. Burbank Airport was without air traffic control. Like, shit's going sideways real quick. And I think people are beginning to slowly but surely wisen up to the fact that, like, hey, we have money. The capital exists. If we can fund other people's wars, if we can fund the gold room, if we can fund missiles into California for no fucking reason, then surely medical debt and student debt shouldn't exist. So whenever I have people, especially like it's the archetype of like the guys making $40,000 a year from my high school, writing in my comment section on social for capitalism in opposition to like medical debt shouldn't exist and student debt shouldn't exist, that people should just work harder. It's like, do you not realize that the funds exist? We're just using it to dick around for Trump instead.
Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. I mean, we're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.